In this episode of the Discourse of Human Events, we discuss whether or not dumb people should be allowed to vote. And I'm quite sure we get added to the FBI watch list. Enjoy.
Everything's okay, I'm just trying to act my age. Yeah, I wanna know where the hell the days go. Yeah, I wanna know where the hell the days go. I wanna look and feel years younger.
We had to restart this podcast because Audacity is a piece of shit program that needs to
They don't know
get their
that. They
shit
don't need to know
together.
that.
No, they need to know this.
No.
We need
We
to
need to get
let
that out
the
there.
audience know that Audacity needs to get their shit together. Because apparently you can't have two screens.
Jesus.
Woo! Go get yourself some more scotch.
So drinks.
Wait, where's my scotch?
What are your favorite drinks?
Right there.
Let's go
Jägermeister
there.
and Red Bull.
Yeah.
I like Americano.
Jägerbomb.
What is it?
I like Di Serrano and Coke.
I like scotch. That's why I have scotch.
Yeah,
But I
scotch
like
is
Johnny Walker more than
Oh,
that.
Johnny
That's
Walker.
cheap stuff.
Johnny Walker's
I
good.
wear that every day.
Johnny Walker Black or Red or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
I do prefer basically any whiskey or rum or anything to a beer.
Yeah, oh yeah. I hate
Any
Yeah,
day.
beer's like I don't get why it's so popular.
I don't either.
Not just the taste. It's like how much do I have to pee to get drunk?
Yeah.
Like
Pee
there's
and
only so
drink.
much
It's like-
peeing I can take.
I'm like 5 in and now I'm finally getting a buzz. Like,
Yeah, exactly. I don't get the point.
I just feel bloated and gross after 5 beers. I don't need that in my life. I'd rather just have a few shots and... Like, I went to Beers and Boards one time. Have you ever gone to Beers and Boards?
Yeah, I've been twice. I think.
Okay. So Beers and
That
Boards, like, I was just like, give me a whiskey and a shot of tequila. I was like, I don't feel like sipping on a beer all night. I just want a buzz. So just,
Yeah,
let's get this over with kind of thing.
exactly. Get me there.
Yeah.
Get me where I want to be. Then I'm done. That's
want
good.
to go.
I don't need to sip on
Like
a beer.
the least I need to take.
When I say a beer tastes good, I mean it still tastes like shit, but out of all the shitty tasting beers, it's the best tasting beer I've had.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. There's no such thing as a good beer to me.
Yeah.
It's just this is
Well,
the least bad.
have you had Not Your Father's Root Beer? Those kind of things?
That I have had.
Yeah.
That's not.
Is that really beer?
Yeah,
Yeah, it gets you drunk.
It's so
it
sweet,
gets you
though.
drunk.
But that seems like
You'll be
root
fucking
beer
fat
with
chicks in no
alcohol.
time.
We're talking about a mixed drink at some point here.
Yeah, that seems like that's.
Well, then we're not talking about beer.
Because that cream soda was cream soda.
Yeah, they make Not Your Father's cream soda. That's
Yeah.
divine.
It's
You
just
can't
cream
even taste
soda.
the alcohol. It's just glug, glug, glug.
Like in the not your grandfather's root beer, I still taste a little bit of alcohol. This cream soda was just cream soda.
You know what
For
the
sure.
problem with that is, though? You can't look like a man when you're drinking something sweet. Yeah, I mean,
You
you,
really
can
can't.
say, "Oh, it's cool because it's root beer," ha ha ha. But we know you're just being like,
The pussy.
"Yeah."
I got this.
I mean, it
got
was
this
like,
apple
what?
teeny.
4% alcohol, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was delicious.
That's why you got to drink like 10 of them and you'll be alright.
Oh my god, that's so much. I can't imagine drinking 10 of those.
I'd go sick.
Yeah, I think if that's
Yeah.
So we're drunk, by the way.
No.
People who
Dude,
don't
I'm
know.
completely
I would
sober.
hope.
No, we're drunk.
Just
We,
like in
Listeners can
life.
figure that out.
we ate Chinese food and shot guns, so we're celebrating 4th of July the best we can.
The right way.
The correct way.
The new way.
I wish
The
we
new
had
age.
an assault rifle to shoot, though.
An AR-15.
Yeah, an AR-15 specifically.
Yeah.
But guys, those are assault rifles. You could kill hundreds of people in mere seconds.
I could kill
But-
so many Harambes with that.
To be truly American, you don't shoot them at gays, you shoot them with gays. That's the most American way.
What?
I think that's actually accurate. I never thought of it that way, but I would say that's accurate.
That's the most American thing to do.
With gays, while some are practicing sodomy.
Sure.
Sure, why not? Eating a steak.
It's all okay. But
I
as
would
long
love-
as you aren't drinking in public.
Yeah.
Yeah,
or
don't do that. That's illegal.
That's too far.
How dare
Oh.
you?
I
That's a
wanna
fine.
have sex with someone while shooting a gun. That's like a bucket list thing. You know?
That's
It's
actually...
hard to pull off
Oh, does it?
safely.
I'd wear a condom. Come on.
Would you wait? Would you put a condom over the barrel?
Yeah, I'm not a maniac.
You're like, it's okay, baby.
You gotta
I'm not a
practice gun
maniac.
safety here. Can't be crazy.
I gotta wrap up my 9mm.
I feel like you do doggy style though. You could really get some good shootings off.
Absolutely, you can get some great
And you
shots
could shoot a
off.
gun too.
Yeah.
No, you found the right prostitute. She'll be like, that's only 20% extra.
You could get several rounds
Wait.
off. You just unload, if you will.
Damn, dude, I think you just added something to my bucket list.
Hope I can fill up your bucket somehow.
Fucking shooting a gun and having sex at the same time. That's glorious.
You know
And
what?
a drink in one hand.
Oh, yeah.
The other hand.
They
That's a
always
given.
say, like, if a senator's found dead, was it with a girl or a boy? But if it was found with a prostitute while he's shooting guns, I'd be like,
Well, he's shooting
he
two...
will forgive him.
While
He
shooting,
will be forever
While
remembered.
shooting 2 condom-wrapped guns, he'll be a patriot of my eyes.
Oh my god. Could you imagine that happening in the news?
Yeah.
I feel like that's something politicians, if they like were honest about their craziness, people would be more for them.
I could be honest.
In this kind of culture.
Depends on the age. Come
Yeah.
on.
For
like-
our age group, they would be.
Yeah, but we don't vote that much.
Yeah, we're not
Yeah,
there.
that is the problem.
We're not there yet.
That's that's what Bernie took off, but obviously it didn't work for him being appealing to the young
He was
crowd.
that crazy.
No, he's not that crazy.
But he was honest. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's true.
Honest.
He wasn't a crazy fucker. He was just honest. But what's the libertarian candidate? Oh,
Gary Johnson.
Gary Jones.
no, not that one.
Ben Eric?
It was the one I matched closely with, and Derek was telling me about him, and he was like, that dude's like wanted for possible murder in another state and fucking all kinds of crazy shit.
Oh, is it,
God, what was his name? I was like, it sounds like he was just in a bad situation, and I can't think of his name. McRoy or something like McAfee.
I don't know.
He made it an antivirus program.
McAfee.
McAfee, that's what it
McAfee,
is.
the virus guy.
Okay, yes, I know him.
McAfee.
He was running in, like, another country.
Yeah.
Where he claims they were running him out and trying to extort him, which, in a third world country, it seems
Could be.
plausible.
Yeah, no, I'm all for the possibility, but the dude is fucking crazy cocaine addict at some point in his life.
No, he's... so, he says about his own product, it's basically a virus now, don't buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Because
does
he
that.
sold it off,
Yeah.
and, like, it's hilarious to be like, to see him say, yeah, my product's shit, don't buy it.
don't buy it. It has my name on it, just don't buy it.
Isn't that the American way? Our product shit,
Yeah.
but still buy it, please.
Sell out as soon
I
as
feel like
possible.
that's a pretty honest approach, though. It's like,
Yeah.
well, I sold it, so now it's a shitty product, don't buy it. Like,
But
he already made his money, why does he need to
But
sell
we
it?
totally punish dishonesty, or honesty like that
Yeah.
in our system. I don't know.
I feel like an honest... Well, I think Trump is popular because people think he's being honest.
They think he's being honest. That's a
I
very
think
important
Republicans think he's honest.
distinction. Motherfucker didn't have any money.
He's not honest at all.
What
But
do you
I think
he's
he-
lying about? The money that he has?
Everything? I mean, that's obviously a knee-jerk reaction to say, oh, he's just lying about everything.
So money. That's hard to decide.
Well, when they do the PolitiFact checks on him, I think it's like a 90% or something that he's lying. Yeah,
Okay.
so yeah, you can...
What's he lying about specifically? That's the media coverage shit on him, so I really have no idea.
Literally 90% of the shit he says, like, oh, all the Mexicans are rapists or whatever. Of course, shit like that's
but he
bullshit.
didn't really say that.
But when he tries to present a fact as fact, he's wrong 90% of the time.
I wouldn't say lying. That's bullshit.
Yeah, I'm not...
Either way.
I'm not even
No,
talking about
bullshit
that.
is
I'm
different
saying what
than
he's
lying.
planning on doing.
Like, implying they're all rapists is different than saying they're all rapists.
Okay.
That's true. He definitely does more implications on that.
Yeah, so
Because
I
of
think
the
he's a shady
implication.
politician because he's heavily implying
It's because of the
what his people want to hear, but he doesn't.
implication.
So far, I don't know anything he's outright said. That's
But
outright
I'm also just
wrong.
talking about what he wants to do when he's in office, what he actually, quote-unquote, wants to do, what he's going to do, building a wall and
Yeah.
all that dumb shit. Like,
See,
he
I don't
obviously
know.
doesn't think that's really going to happen. I think he's just good at pandering to
Oh, absolutely.
his audience.
And you know what? That's why I didn't vote for Obama, because I thought he was lying.
Yeah. Well, I didn't think that the first year I voted for him, the first election, and then the second election, I was like, this guy's fucking bullshit. Like, he hasn't done anything that he was going to do.
See, after
He's just
my votes.
another politician, so I had
That's
to
why
just
I don't vote.
do my libertarian
I
vote.
just throw away on the libertarian.
Yeah.
I don't. Okay, well, it's the same thing.
We went over
Voting for
this.
yeah,
we
we've
vote for
done this.
libertarian, it's the same
You
thing.
vote for libertarian, I don't vote. Same thing.
You know, Gary Johnson's actually to 10% now.
So he's going to for sure be on the
he
ballot?
He's on all 50 states. They're always on.
I know he has to
They
be
were
a
on
certain
48 last
percentage,
time,
though, to be on the ballot.
15% to be on the
15.
debates.
Validity.
Oh, that's
So
what it
if
was,
he
the
can
debates.
get there, that would be great. To actually
Yeah.
get a third-party candidate.
The problem, though, is Gary Johnson, I don't think, is as forceful with his ideas. Like, he
No.
doesn't own up to the libertarian ideas as much as I would want somebody to.
Another problem, I just
Like,
saw-
Bernie Sanders is like, socialism, here's what I want to do.
Yeah.
This is fucking socialist, I don't care, this is what I want to do. Gary Johnson kind of, like, beats around the bush. He's like, well, we can do this, it's libertarian.
Have you seen him in person? I just saw him, like, actually talking on real time. Like, for the first time, just this Saturday.
Yeah, he did a Joe Rogan podcast. I listened for, like, 4 hours.
Well, he doesn't seem like a... I agree with him. He doesn't seem like a good politician. Same problem
Exactly,
Rand
yes.
Paul has. Like,
Exactly.
he can't, like, sell the bullshit.
Yeah.
Like,
That's his problem.
he was... I don't know. He just could not out-talk. Like, there was some lawyer hounding him on real time with some bullshit, which, like, I know,
Yeah.
like, if you're a good speaker, you could outdo, but...
We need a
Like,
libertarian
I don't think
candidate
he's
that has the
on
skills
debates.
of somebody like Penn Jillette that's libertarian. Like, that
Yeah.
kind of, like, okay, I see what you're going at. Like, I can talk with you in real
But-
time and figure out where you're getting at.
The problem there is you can't have somebody like Penn Jillette that is too...
In your face style.
Yeah, like, I'm going to turn off all the old voters. Like, do you really see Grandma voting for that guy?
No, I'm fine with that.
No.
I think that's what we
But
need.
no,
is,
they're not
okay,
actually elected.
they won't get elected that year, but in 4 years come a new election, they might.
I think it's more than 4 years before
Oh,
we
yeah,
start making
way.
a difference. Like,
I don't
10,
know.
15.
You might be right, 10 or... God, our system's so slow for our age. The
For
generation
change.
does not match the,
Yep.
the change.
It might be somewhat of a good thing. I mean, do you want a law to change every time 51% thinks something?
No.
Like, Coney 2012. Okay, we're all going to devote all our resources to getting this guy.
Yeah.
That's true.
No, that's
But-
not a good decision.
Sometimes it seems like it takes 10 to 14 years to get any actual change, and that's too long.
Yeah.
A happy
Like,
medium.
I
would
feel
be
like
nice.
if 70% of people agree on something,
Yeah, that's true.
like, if you can get a
Well,
referendum
then,
and they
well,
agree.
still 70%, it could be a fad
Yeah.
of an idea.
70%, though, that includes every generation that's going to vote.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a pretty good, like, almost no one can agree
Well-
on 70%, but you can agree, 70% will say murder is wrong in most cases.
So, I hope it's more than 70. Shit.
I really hope it's higher.
So maybe we set the bar higher, like 80, 90%.
But-
if 80, 90% say something, it should be part of the
Here's the
law.
biggest problem with our whole system. Why do we even need the politician at this point?
Well,
Because
When we're
it's-
talking about is murder wrong, why do we even need a politician to say, okay, you vote for us and we'll tell you what we think?
because we don't have to, it would be even slower if we had to take into account of every single person who
I
voted.
disagree. I think if everything was an
Okay, if
online
there's a vote
system, we could
down
vote
at the
for it.
mayor's office right now for something, and it
Why
took
does it have to be at the
entire-
mayor's office? We have
Where
the
else is it
internet.
going to be?
The internet.
Okay, well
Maybe
then
you
you're
heard of this
excluding.
thing.
You're excluding everyone 40 plus instantly.
Good. That's the problem
Okay,
with our
well then
system.
that's your opinion.
Yeah, some, okay. Like, some 40-year-olds should be able to vote. Some have definitely input to have.
If you're 40
knowledge
years
that
or
you don't
older
have.
and can't use the internet, and you can't vote because you can't
No,
use the
I-
internet,
I
there's a
understand.
problem with
Okay,
you.
when you're 60 and we're using telepathy, these kids are using their new age telepathy.
Then that's my problem for not keeping up with technology.
So I agree with
We
that.
are of the age where we can keep up with technology. Nick might not use Snapchat, but he can understand
Nick's an
what
old
Snapchat
fucking man.
is.
He's 1 year older than me. He's beyond comprehension, apparently.
I'm over 30. Not 30. Over 30. But, no, I do think, like, if you can't read, you probably shouldn't vote.
Yeah,
But,
I honestly
well,
think
no,
that if you
because,
can't read.
well, then you're cutting off so many people in poverty instantly. Isn't that
Some of
elitist?
them- some
Doesn't
of
it
them
feel a
are there
little
for a
elitist to
reason.
say, though?
I don't disagree with him, though.
Let me.
Should somebody that
You
doesn't
know
have a
our
comprehension of
sister-in-law-
how works
Do you
work.
believe should be voting for
Are we naming
anything?
names?
Yeah, we're naming names.
Sorry.
Does Josh listen to this?
He knows my opinion.
I think your whole family does.
Do you
I think your whole
believe
family does.
that she should have a
She can't-
say in government?
She can't use the internet anyway.
Well, let's just take it back. We're talking about someone who can't read or
I
write.
don't begrudge
Yeah.
them.
Barely, okay?
Yeah, so she's beyond them because she can a little bit.
Okay.
Are we talking?
Well,
You had to
remember,
cross the
people
line
that can't read
somewhere.
or write in poverty do have family members that can read and write.
Yeah.
There are people that are very generous. There are people that look out for the poor. I believe there are people that actually will. I mean, they're not going to go, oh, let's take more shit from the poor people. There are people that care.
Okay, well,
I think that's the
there are smart
majority of people
that
that
care. I
actually
think
care.
politicians take care of these poor people.
where do you draw the
Don't
line?
know things.
What if I can read a couple words?
I actually want it very high. I want you to be able to answer a fairly quick quiz on, like, what are you even voting on?
What is
Okay.
that called?
Can you read? So, like,
What about
Is that an
immigrants?
aristocracy? What is that called? Where it's like only smart people are involved
it's not
in the
necessarily an
politics?
Not
aristocracy.
necessarily.
It's just a republic with some constraints. Aristocracy is only like I
The
have
elite.
land, therefore I
Okay.
get to vote. I believe in somewhat barriers on intelligence.
Okay, so I work with a Mexican dude. He's very intelligent
Okay.
dude. Can barely speak English though.
Okay,
Is he not allowed to vote? He's an American citizen.
well, okay. Why is he an American citizen if he can't speak the language of the country?
If you don't like America, you can get out. Is that where
I'm
we're going?
serious.
Is that where we're
You-
going with that?
You need to have some basic knowledge of the country to be able to vote.
Okay, but
How's he going to know what the politicians are saying?
Yeah, I get his point with that, where it's not like,
Well,
you don't
how do-
know
hold
our
on, no, no,
language,
no.
get out.
how do you know what the politicians are saying? Are you going to every single press conference they go to? Or are you watching the news, seeing what people say about the politicians, and then getting an opinion off that? What's the difference between him talking with his friends, hey, how do you feel
That do
about
speak
this
English,
guy?
that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
How do you feel about this guy? Okay, I can kind of see that. What's the difference between that? You're just getting it through a different medium. You see what I mean?
That's a good point.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
get what you're
valid
saying.
point.
But still, I feel like...
But
you
like,
need
what are we
some
going to do?
sort
Give
of
everybody a
first-hand
fucking
account.
questionnaire before
Yeah,
they
that's
vote?
even going to slow the
Yes.
system down tremendously.
I don't. No,
You're
no,
going
no,
to
no.
exclude
You
so
don't
many
need to
people.
slow it down. I do want to
Oh, no,
exclude
no, no, no.
people. I do want to exclude people.
We already
But
exclude
again,
so many people.
You're already fighting for this Mexican guy that can't speak the language.
Ernesto.
So
that's
why
his name.
can't
Ernesto.
Why can't you vote for Ernesto?
Why can't I vote for Ernesto? Because I'm not Ernesto.
He's saying you would be the representative of
Yes.
him.
You just argued about not having politicians.
No, I'm just
I'm
saying that's what
Ernesto's
he's
politician
saying.
in that
I'm
case.
I'm not agreeing with him.
So,
I'm just saying that's
yes,
what he's
okay.
saying.
We will exclude people that should be excluded. I will admit that. But that's better than including masses of people that should not be included.
My knee-jerk reaction is to say this sounds like a master race kind of thing.
All right, let's
Only these
I'm not
people
saying
can
white
vote.
people.
No,
saying
I'm
smart
not
people.
saying that.
let's
I'm just
put
saying,
it to
I'm
extremes.
saying
These
if you
people.
can read, you can comprehend a paragraph of. So you go
He can
into.
read English. He can read enough English.
But okay, you go in sometimes and they have ballots, right?
Yeah.
Some people can't read those ballots.
In that
Let's
case,
put it here.
In
What
that
the fuck
case,
are they
I'm
voting on?
say Ernesto can't read a lick of English. I'm going to go read that as Ernesto's friend and then memorize it to him. He's
How
gonna
about
convince
somebody
you.
with
Seems
Down
really
syndrome?
good.
Like, put it
Why
to
not?
an
If I want
extreme.
my vote.
Somebody with Down syndrome, can they vote?
I don't know.
I
Can
go
they?
back-
I
Are
really
they-
don't know. Can they vote?
I don't know. I honestly
Yeah.
don't know this
At
answer.
some point,
Literally.
I believe you have family, you have friends, and then
Well,
you have charity workers.
Can somebody with Down syndrome
You
vote?
are,
Like,
you
this
are,
is a question
you are
I have
skating.
now.
Hold on.
Literally are.
You are skating some mighty thin ice of comparing immigrants to people with
No,
severe.
I'm just saying,
You
like-
started I said who might be close on that, and you said
I'm going to an extreme.
Ernesto.
What about Ernesto? And I'm like, I was saying dumb. I wasn't saying can't read
Okay.
English. But if you want to go down that path,
But
I do believe it takes an education, and it might help to know American history. It might help to.
Well, that's a
understand
citizenship
context.
test, isn't it?
uh,
To
But
become
how-
a U.S. citizen,
How
you
did
have
he,
to
you
take that
just said he
test.
doesn't speak much English.
He's a U.S. citizen.
but also, isn't it fine if...
You should be able to speak a good amount of English to be a U.S.
He can
citizen.
speak enough to work in a restaurant.
Then
Why
can,
can't
he
we
can hold a
provide-
conversation with
Then,
me.
then if he wants to vote, he needs to learn enough
He can-
to be able to pass a voting test.
Why
can speak
can't they
up
just
to-
provide him a voting ballot in Spanish?
That's true.
Why is that not allowed?
Well, okay.
I'm
If
fine
he
with
gets
our
the
country
Spanish, then
providing
the
other
German,
languages.
Let's just
and this,
establish that the
and that.
American language is English, not even American. So let's just establish that we are all immigrants, first off. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
But we have a common language. It's
Yeah.
English. And I don't like paying for extra things.
Fuck all that.
I seriously don't want my taxes to go to anything else.
But I
And
don't think that's a problem.
You know what? If enough of these educated voters voted to provide Spanish ballots, I would say okay.
That's slowing things to a crawl.
Yeah, I really
No,
think you should. I think you should be able to provide ballots for everybody. If Spanish ends up being the national language of the United States because so many Spanish people vote, I don't fucking care.
If what?
If so many Spanish people or Mexican people come into the United States and end up taking over, and Spanish becomes the language of the United States, that's just the natural evolution of the country.
There's one problem with that. Have you been to Mexico? Do you know what it's like?
It is a shithole.
There is always that. That's my one argument against immigration is like, yeah, okay, I want to be humanitarian.
But where we came from was a
in.
shithole before we came to America.
Yeah, England? We ruled the fucking world before we came here. We were trying to rule more of the world.
All these things.
Yeah.
Okay, for some people.
We were trying to rule more of the world.
I'm not. Again, I'm saying I'm not excluding on race or gender.
Right, he's not doing that. We're kind of doing that for him.
I want to exclude on the basic IQ.
He's doing. You've seen Rope,
trying to
right?
exclude on general intelligence.
He's doing the Jimmy Stewart thing from Rope, where only the smart people can commit murder and all this shit. So,
commit murder?
You never seen Rope? All right, never mind.
Dude, retards can commit murder.
They get retard strong.
They just get strong. They get
have you not seen read of Mice and Men or
yeah, Letty?
fucking Sling Blade?
Sling Blade, I've seen. Yeah.
There's fucking retards can commit murder.
So, where do they take these tests? Do they do it by mail ballot? Do they do it at the voting booth? There's a lot of red tape we got to go through.
Yeah, you could just easily put on the ballot.
Mm-hmm.
Answer this multiple choice question.
So you have to fill out a questionnaire before you do that, before you vote, like on the same ballot.
I don't have an exact plan. I'm just saying I would like some discriminant on people that are not that
let me pause.
Okay.
There is already a little discrimination. A court can decide somebody's too incompetent to vote.
Okay.
So in many states, a person under guardianship could lose his or her right to vote. So it's already a law that if you are determined by a court not competent to vote, you can't vote.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's something else entirely, though.
I'm just saying, that is already...
Just try to think a person, perhaps a sister-in-law of ours.
Sure.
Or somebody...
Let me get into that zone where
that
I
could
can
in no way discern a good policy, good ideas, who's right, who's wrong, but based everything on just hearsay or general feeling.
Baby.
How good looking a candidate
Where
is.
do you draw that line,
really
though?
Darling, that's the American way.
Where do you draw
think
that
it's a
line?
bad way.
Where do you draw that line at, though?
That's where you gotta go.
Who knows?
I do think that's a hard thing.
Because at some point, I don't know enough about
what
a
makes your
candidate.
opinion more valid than sister?
How much have you researched a candidate? Like, at some point, you don't know as much as the next person.
Could I answer some basic questions about what is X candidate's policy?
Well, don't they list those on the ballots these days?
Yeah, they do.
No.
Well, not about the candidate. They do about issues.
Oh, about
they
the
won't
issues.
say on issues what it is. But even so, they have found a good portion of people just select no when they don't understand, and a very large number.
Well, how do you
not
think
understand.
Kennedy was elected president?
They cheated in Illinois.
And he was a very good-looking
He's
chap.
also just...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
And
he
it
was
was the
also...
first
Because he was
televised.
on the Nixon.
It was the first
versus-
televised debate. And you're up against fucking baseball glove-looking Ronald Reagan.
Now that,
Yeah, you're
that
up
is
for
bad because Nixon actually turned out to be horrid. but
Happened to be that
Turner's
example.
gut feeling was actually spot on.
Right.
but,
That's true.
but still, I think if you cannot even tell, like if I go, which candidate is generally against immigration, you're like, I don't know. That person should not vote.
Okay, well, so you're excluding people who don't have a TV? Because if you have a TV in any media coverage, you know Donald Trump's views. You know Hillary Clinton's views.
Not if you watch reality TV all day.
Well, of course not. But then your choice at that point? If you want to learn about a politician, you should be able to go learn about a politician.
Yeah, but you can still go and vote.
Also, it should kind of just be a basic freedom to vote no
That's
matter what your
the full
intelligence
point.
is.
Is that
It should be your basic freedom
our
to...
country was pretty
I'm
much
going to watch
founded
fucking reality TV
I
shows
honestly
all
think-
fucking day, be stupid, and vote for a fucking candidate.
I think when we allow that,
The
it
American
evolves into
way.
what we basically
My
are
hand-
at now.
My hand is on
Where
my
it's
heart.
basically crazy identity politics to stupid people that barely know what's
Freedom
going
doesn't
on.
give you protection
Like,
from stupid people.
When
Freedom
you watch,
isn't free.
when you watch the news, how much is about, here's what my plan is, here's what we're going to do, and how much is, that's a douchebag. My other candidate, the other candidate's evil. They're terrible. There's no policy.
How many of those
Because
people do you
most
think?
people should not be voting?
And
A
God
lot of
bless
those people, though, are the older generation as well. I don't think it's
I'm
just
fine with
stupid people.
excluding
I don't see a lot of people my age watching Fox News. I see it, but it's definitely not our generation. Because they can go on Wikipedia, they can Google, like, does
Okay.
Donald Trump really believe this?
Yeah. So,
Like,
and on my general idea, I think most, younger people might be more included in the voting.
yeah, they just have a
'Cause if
natural
they are
sense to
better
just,
educated-
I don't understand this, I'll fucking Google it.
But I still think you
That's
should have
the
a general
benefit we
idea
have
of
now.
what you're voting on before you vote.
Which brings
on
me
it.
back to the point is, I
Call
think
me elitist,
I'm okay
but I
with
think that's a
everybody
good idea.
voting. Just let's put all the issues on the internet and not vote for actual candidates because we don't need candidates.
But what's the argument against elitism other than you're elitist?
I mean, you're skating a
And somebody
slippery
who's
slope.
Actually smarter.
That's what I'm saying. It's down a slippery
Yes,
slope.
like
I don't want
maybe-
to. I don't want
maybe you should
to.
have a PhD before you.
Yeah,
get
I don't want to knee jerk and say Hitler was an elitist.
'Cause
Blah blah blah. But
There's C students that have come up with great ideas.
Yeah.
Why did they have to be elitist to know what's best for the country? Somebody might be
Because mostly the people
a C
that
student that
fall
comes up
for
with a
really
genius idea.
simple to see-through scams are not the brightest people in the world. And I think politicians sell a lot of easy to see-through
Yeah.
scams.
God
too.
bless them. Thank you,
Like,
America.
Here, like most of California or heck, just the U.S., most of democracy, everyone constantly votes. You know what? I vote to lower my taxes and raise spending.
Right.
I will vote to lower my taxes and raise spending constantly. Constantly. How can that make sense? It doesn't.
But you're saying
I think anyone with a brain can see right through that.
Obviously not. 'Cause there's a lot of people who vote.
I think people that cannot, that would be a question on the test. Extrapolate this. Every year we raise spending by 1%. We lower taxes taken in by 1%. Can this continue ad infinitum? Can this continue only for so long? If you answer that correctly.
yeah, who comes up with this test? This is that's another thing. This
That
is
is
an oversight of
a
this test.
bipartisan committee.
What
I would
actually
assume.
is in this test? Like,
Yeah, just
do you have to
common sense
identify
stuff.
what is an immigrant? Like, how
What is the American
complicated
flag?
I would think
is
you would
it?
have to basically have members from each party in equal proportion to decide essentially.
Are we
what you
doing
basically
fucking
need to know to
juries
validate
on
that
here?
this
Like,
person is
you
an
come up
idiot?
with 15, we'll come up with 15, we'll prove.
You know what? The juries are another point. There have been a lot of convictions of perfectly innocent people
yeah, well,
because juries are stupid.
Yeah.
A lot of times
true.
you just get the bad draw, and you get dumb.
The
fucking
problem is you
people.
don't have a better system.
No.
Yeah, I'll grant you that it's very hard to come up with a better one. But if you had a little test, do a little logic for me before you join this jury.
Yeah,
I think you might
true.
get a better outcome.
But then you come with the idiocracy problem where you have smart people in, so they're actually debating facts to the point where everything's just a hung jury. Nobody comes up with a conclusion because they're like, well, we can't conclusively prove that he did
But
anything,
the
so
idea is supposed to
innocent.
be 90%,
or not guilty.
95%, then you convict. That's beyond reasonable doubt.
Yeah, but if I'm sitting down here, if you say, if you're at 90 to 95% sure he killed somebody, vote, like, how the fuck do I know that I'm at 90? I'm at 89% sure he's guilty.
No, but-
like, that's such an arbitrary
No, it's
percentage.
Like, do you really think, well, maybe Hitler didn't do it? like, there are times when they're
I love any argument that just ends up at Hitler. That's my
That's-
favorite.
I had to go Godwin immediately.
That's
But-
a difference of
No,
0 and 100,
No,
though.
seriously, there are times when they'll stand up and say, I did it. They deserved it, and I wanted them to die.
I hope they die.
There's no-
I hope they burn it out.
There's no maybe.
But there is, because there are people that maybe are taking the fall for somebody else, so maybe they haven't done it, and they are standing up saying, I did it.
Yeah, that's true. But
That happens, so you can't just say it's always 100%.
ideally, you would think through that.
Yeah.
But that
I
would
love
probably
my
give you
Jewish.
99% of the time if they stand up and they have a history of saying, I think these people should die, and then they kill the person that they think should die. Yeah, they probably did it.
I'm just saying, you're saying you should be
See-
90 to 95% sure if you convict somebody.
I think
I'm saying that's impossible to know you're 90 to 95%
We need
not on
a
every
leader.
case. I do think, actually, So if I were to design a system from scratch, I would say, like, death penalty only if you're 99.9%, even more. Like,
You have
almost
to be
100%.
sure. It has to be
But
on
then the problem
video
is
with
the
that guy's
problem is
fucking
there's-
face killing somebody.
Yes, like, you have a video of this guy, or you have Hitler saying, hey, I got an idea, let's burn the Jews.
Let's kill all the Jews.
Hear me out, guys. Hear me out. Wait, is that
Is
a
this
camera?
how Hitler
Damn
came to power?
Is that a camera? Fuck.
I mean, you don't have any doubt about
Himmler, I
it.
told you not to put that camera there. Sorry, my viewer.
I'm just saying.
That's what I'm saying.
I haven't
You
seen
know.
Hitler kill anybody. I'm just saying. Have you? Is there proof he killed anybody?
Oh my
I think
god.
there's a pretty good
We
You
have a
show
couple.
me, show me the evidence.
We have a few million survivors.
We have a
When
couple
get into
witnesses.
research.
No. You have a few survivors that say Hitler told them to kill them.
Oh god.
Do you have Hitler killing anybody?
How many million people do you need?
I'm just saying.
After about the first 500,000 witnesses, you go.
You have Hitler for
Probably.
conspiracy to murder.
You also
Do you
have
have him
video.
for murder
There's a lowest
himself?
common denominator at some point.
Do you have him for murder himself? Conspiracy,
Did he
maybe.
actually pull the trigger? No. But
That's
he
what
gave-
I'm saying.
He gave the commands, and there's no doubt about that, right? Is there any doubt that Hitler gave those commands?
I don't see the commands.
Get the fuck out of here.
Are you a Holocaust denier?
What Holocaust?
What Holocaust? Oh my god. So what you're saying is we need a purge, so we would just restart everything.
Oh my god, a purge.
I think we need a system redesign because it's been exploited.
Oh,
there
God,
needs
yeah.
to be a complete redesign of all laws.
Yeah.
Almost. Fucking all the traffic laws are the most annoying and biggest bullshit laws I've ever seen.
We were on a pretty big scope of like political government and Hitler, and then you went to
I
traffic
went to
laws.
traffic laws.
What was
Okay.
Hitler's view on traffic laws?
Yeah.
Does anyone know?
What
I
was
think
it,
like
man?
if you're Jewish, they're probably more strict on the traffic laws.
I like to think you get a speed in
on
Germany. Fuck it.
I think in Germany there are no speed limits.
the Autobahn.
On the
Like, there's
Autobahn.
The Autobahn.
highway that's like you can do whatever.
But that's my point. Is there's some laws that are really just archaic and are there to collect revenue rather than actually be there to govern
Yeah.
Oh,
people.
yeah.
It's better than a cop pulling you over and saying, "Give me money," but
Better than him
It's-
scolding you fiercely
Yeah.
through the highway window.
I don't know. I've just had a lot of tickets in my day, and all of them have been bullshit. You didn't register vehicle. Why do I have to register my vehicle every fucking year?
hey, you know what? You don't actually technically legally have to if you get an allodial title. I learned that from
What the
one
fuck is an
libertarian.
allodial title?
Oh, it's so interesting. So, it's been a while ago. Michael Bednarik, he was a libertarian candidate in 04.
Uh-huh.
So, okay. So there's nothing in the Constitution that says you need, like, a driver's license, right?
Uh-huh.
So they kind of have these back
But there's
way
state laws.
Yeah, but they can't really do it quite legally, so you basically have to register your vehicle. Like, technically the state somewhat owns your vehicle, and you have to
Right.
register it with them. So, but you can go through a lot of loopholes, and you can get a allodial title to your car and to your land.
What's allodial mean?
It means you have absolute actual ownership. So, like, he actually went through, Benerick, this libertarian candidate, went through all these loopholes to get his house, his actual title. Like, he owns it outright. So, like...
Does he not have to pay property taxes because of that, or what?
I think you would still have to pay taxes. But, so in my house, if a plane flies over, legally, I'm not allowed to say you can't fly over. They put cables under. I mean, the government, the city government can say, we kind of want to put cables under here. You're actually just running this from the state, essentially. But
That's
legally,
fucked.
if they do, he can take a shovel because he got this proper title and rip that shit out. He can shoot up the plane if it flies over his land.
He should just sit there with his
I mean,
missiles,
he can-
just waiting.
He can say no one can fly over it, but they can unless he shoots at them. But he technically
But
can
then
do
he's
that.
like declaring war.
Yeah, like there were like series of laws like 100 years ago to try to make it very difficult to get these titles. But he has a car, so he was pulled over. He did not have a license, and he's done this several times. Been pulled over, and had to argue in court that no, I have the proper title.
So that's
that
so
I
annoying,
outright
though.
own my car. It is in no way needed to be registered with the state. But it's.
Did he have
I
to
don't
pay
know if it's
court
even
fees for
possible
that, though?
anymore.
He has to show up for court. He has to pay
Right.
court fees.
He might
Because
have.
I got that
He
bullshit.
did not say that. When
I went into court
Watch the thing.
to argue a ticket because I had the tent on my windows. I bought the car and it came with the
that's
tent.
Such bullshit.
I had to remove the tent, even though I bought it with the tent on there. Like, they can sell you an illegal tent car.
I think they can. I think you actually could sue them if
You could have sued him.
So, I had to go to court. I told them I removed the tent, so I just had to show them a picture. They removed the ticket, but I still had to pay a $97 court fee just for showing up, for them to tell me, oh,
See,
you don't
that's
have
bullshit.
to pay. You don't have to pay the fee.
If you win in court, you should not have the
Yeah.
fee.
So basically, I could have actually spent. It would have been better for me to just pay the full fine
Victim go to
and not have to waste 3 hours of my time.
I think, in theory, you should be able to sue the person that sold you the car and include your fee
Yeah,
and the
you
waste of your time.
Yeah.
So in theory, they have a.
Fail safe.
I don't think so. I think it's legal for them to sell you
An illegal car.
an illegal car because it's
I bet
up to the owner to make sure it's legal. Is what they said to me. Is when you own a car, to take it on the road, it's up to you to make sure it's
That
legal.
seems fraudulent.
That doesn't.
That seems to
I
me.
feel like you could sue.
I was like,
Well,
how
here's
the
my
fuck can
tank.
they sell me an illegal car?
Well, it looks like that's street legal to me. You said it was, right?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
did it.
it's
You
right.
touched it last Tuesday. Run
But
away.
either way, it's fucked because if I wanted to sue them for all that money, that whole $97, I have to take. That
You
would
gotta
take
get a
like
lawyer.
years of my life
And
away
it's for
to
only
get that.
a little bit. Yes, our legal system is totally broken,
Yeah.
beyond repair.
Yeah,
It's-
it's fucked. We need a purge.
IP is
If I've learned
insane.
anything, we need a purge. Fucking reset this shit.
We really, the laws are so fucked. But the legal system is a hard one to like. How do you do a
Yeah,
good
I mean, because you
legal
kind of
system?
we have to have a system with as much bullshit as it is because we have to have faith in something. Otherwise, what the fuck are we doing?
Common sense is the problem we're missing with the legal system. You can't use common sense sometimes.
I think the people that profit off it being so broken are the people in the power that have the power to change it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And
the
that's
problem.
the big problem.
Who would have
You come
thought?
up with all the fucking crazy ass loopholes and skimmer-rink-a-dink-a-doos. I love you.
That's actually a technical legal term.
It really is.
Your Honor.
This skittle rinka-rinka-doo. I really want to do that in court. And see if
Your Honor, I totally skimmer-rink-a-dink-a-dude. I'm sorry, what was that, sir?
Dude, if I'm ever convicted
Section
of
25?
anything really serious, I'm gonna do that and defend myself and totally plead insanity.
Section 25, Your Honor. Skidmarink.
Give him the old cuckoo's nest.
It says here in Section A, head, shoulders, knees, and toes. What was that? Knees and toes, sir. Knees and toes.
Eyes and ears.
I think you could get away with an insanity plea after that. I don't know. The whole system's broke. But who knows what it would take to fix it. A whole reset is what it takes, but it's obviously impossible to
It's
say.
hard to do when the government has nukes.
Yeah, let's destroy this whole legal system,
Yeah.
guys, and start
Back in
anew.
the Revolutionary War, we're like, well, they got rifles, we got rifles too. We can
Let's
do
do
this.
this.
Yeah.
But now it's like, well, they have
Yeah, if this
aircraft,
was.
they have submarines.
To
they
be
have
fair,
aircraft
though, when you
carriers.
say they, the government has blank, blank, blank.
yeah,
That's also the people, though.
No, it's not.
No.
What are you talking about?
Okay, so politicians are in charge of the nukes. Who are they going to nuke?
they're not going to nuke, but they have aircraft carriers and tanks. If you ever
But that's
try
the
to get a
army,
little
which is a
uppity.
part of the people. So if the people
But
decide
they're
they don't like
Who
sworn
the
pays their
government,
paycheck?
Who has a sworn allegiance
We don't pay their
to
paycheck.
do what the President of the
Yeah.
United States tells them?
yeah,
to
that's
do?
the problem.
Fuck the
I'm
army.
just saying the army are U.S.
Which
citizens.
is all Games of Thrones. We got like Joffrey.
Technically, the president of the United
Joffrey
States is a
Baratheon.
U.S. citizen.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Eventually, there can be
But-
enough people to overthrow the government.
I'm just if we had this conversation back
Yeah.
in the 1800s or late 1700s, we'd be like,
Let's get
fucking-
Johnny down the road,
We'd be drinking
motherfuckers.
scotch, we'd float our muskets, and fuck it, let's go take over the government. Woo! We probably could.
Were any of them in the British Army?
I don't know.
Did they have sworn allegiance to Britain?
I'm sure there had to be some British Army people that
Oh,
fought
there were
on
actually
the
there
American
were
side.
definitely loyalists. That's what they were called.
But no.
loyalists.
Did people that were in the British Army join the revolution?
There had to be.
There had to have been. There's no
Had
way.
to be.
so.
There
I've
had to
never heard
have
of
been.
it.
Yeah, there's no way.
If somebody was like, I see what you're doing. I like your ideas. I don't like Christianity or something. I don't like the British rule.
I mean,
That had to happen.
I'd imagine.
Maybe
but
it's rare, but
I
it had
feel
to
like
happen.
they would have sent British people over. That would have been totally loyalist.
I don't know.
But how you can't check every single person. Are you totally loyalist? Are you going to turn on some motherfucker?
No, bro. Good.
No, dude, I love
Good.
G.
But come on, a lot of people take those oaths seriously.
Yes,
I mean, some
especially
don't.
back in that day. But I'm sure there had to be some people that turned.
But how many today do you think take
People
their-
that had nothing to
They were
lose.
talking-
People like, I don't have family back in
How
Britain,
many
and
today
I like
do
here
you
in
think
America.
take that oath seriously when they swear to uphold?
I think less than back then.
But enough to overthrow a government. We are slowly getting listened to by that FBI.
I would say it would depend on like
It is
a big
covered by our
event.
First Amendment right.
There needs to be some kind of big event for
By the way,
enough
this is
people
all
to turn.
theoretical and
Yeah.
historical, and in no way an actual
Jokes.
Nah, dude, I'm gonna assassinate Obama.
Dude, if your listen count gets too high, let me know.
Mr. President, if you're listening, we're just kidding.
Mr. President. 9/11, terrorist, Muslim.
Bomb, bomb, bomb.
what other trigger words are there? I don't know. I think there would have to be a big event for people to turn
Yeah.
on it.
Like, I feel like the only way this could ever happen is if, essentially, there's a presidential election. And it's not...
We're on the brink of
No, no, no,
something
no.
like this, to be fair.
And it seems like somebody won, but it is blatantly obvious that it wasn't fair. Like, they cheated.
Like
Clinton's
everyone knows.
Clinton's
Like
not
when
too far from that.
Right, like when one candidate gets more votes than the other, but they really didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
that
know,
never
like maybe
happens.
Bush.
But...
You
but-
mean something
no,
like
no.
that?
But you have undeniable proof that it happened.
Like when the
But
DNC,
they still say, nope.
like
I
when the
got the
DNC,
votes.
like when the DNC has emails clearly outlining that they want Hillary Clinton the entire time.
Yeah,
Yes.
like that maybe.
But there's a difference. That's
Maybe so.
private.
That is
The
technically private.
the
That's
Democrat is
technically
a private,
Yeah.
like...
A lot of
organization.
people
They're
don't
not
know
government.
that though.
private. Yeah.
I think the only way, because the military then would say, who do I have allegiance to? Because it did the person that got 51%, but only by cheating a little bit, did they really have it? Do I really have allegiance to a person
there
that
has-
cheated their way in?
I think you're thinking too much of like an intelligence, like something has to happen, we can review, and like, okay. I think too much. Most revolutions and stuff like that happens more on a feeling
No, but-
as well.
You also have to have that, but I believe
You have
the
to have an
generals
actual
and the
movement.
commanders are generally pretty smart people, and they would
Yeah.
need that. They would need the legitimacy.
Higher ups to be
They need
like, what the
legitimacy,
fuck?
A legitimate reason.
Here's what has to happen: people higher up have to lose money.
I think those people actually
We
have
need a
oaths
purge.
and take it
They
seriously.
lose money. Money has to be involved where people higher up are losing money for some reason they shouldn't be losing money, and then they're
Yeah, it's like an
also
office
invested.
space. They didn't know anything was wrong until money started going out.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I
Like
do think,
money
yeah.
has to be involved.
If we basically go to like Egypt where it's like, we can't eat.
Is that what happened with the American Revolution? Like money probably was involved at some point.
I don't
Like,
think they were ever nearly as poor. There was money involved,
Like-
obviously.
Oh, yeah,
Smugglers,
of course.
money.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Money had to be
They were
involved
upset
at some
about
point.
money.
We're like, why are we paying money to the fuckers across the sea?
The problem is
Like,
most
we're
of
here
yeah,
doing all the work, and we're paying taxes to them over here. Like, fuck them, we're here.
Most of what I know about the American Revolution is taught to me by an American school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
So,
I'm with you there.
as
I
far
was-
as I know, we're
Washington,
just like, fuck that, we want to be free.
the godly man.
Yeah.
that would just
I would
the-
like to read a like an
sentence
unbiased
kind of
book.
a traitor, but let's gloss over
Yeah.
that.
I have a feeling a lot of it probably started over some alcohol, and then
Yeah.
you've been like,
There were a lot that supported that were just smugglers, and they were getting caught, and they thought, "Why catch me? Like, why don't you let me go? I'm rich."
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like, money is always involved.
Why is this illegal? We should make our own laws where it is legal. Yeah. That's
With the blackjack and hookers.
That's what happened. That's basically what happened. We made our own America with blackjack and hookers.
And that's why America's awesome.
Yeah.
We were just like, you know what? But now we're kind of turning. Now we're like,
We've
hookers
become
aren't
the
aren't
empire.
that good.
We've become kind of the,
Yeah, that's true.
you know, we have a huge system of laws.
We
Well,
became the empire
international
way too
empire.
fast
Yeah.
for empire standards.
We
too.
threw a hissy fit when the South wanted to be their own shit. That's what we did
They
exactly.
might have had a good reason to throw a hissy fit.
Okay,
but,
yeah, but
but
on principle of them wanting to be their own thing, besides the whole other thing.
You know, there was actually an alternative. They had, like, we could buy every slave proposed. No, that was actually going through the Congress, which would have been a peaceful solution. But
really,
yeah,
Fuck it, bloodshot, baby.
Fuck you ain't taking my slaves.
crazy stuff.
It's interesting. I wish I could see like the actual history play out. Like, what would you give to go back in time and actually be able to see that happen?
As a white man, anything.
That'd be amazing. As a white man, yeah.
I don't know. I look kind of Irish. I'd probably get fucked too.
But you could take stuff back and sell it and be really rich.
I'm saying if you could just view it, you don't have to be a black man randomly plopped in the middle of fucking 1700s.
So
like,
just view it.
oh shit!
Just have like a movie screen.
Yeah, view.
Oh, so that's how shit went down.
Yeah.
Neat.
Washington wasn't a hookers and blow.
Yeah, we have this idealistic view of them, but I'm sure they were very
I
flawed
ditched
people.
that shit like out of high school. I'm like, whoa, okay.
Washington
like
was probably kind of a dick.
Well, this whole idea of patriotism. Okay, look, I get it. You support your country, but when you just fucking America, and fuck everyone else, it's like, whoa, okay, hold on. I mean, we're all humans. We're all kind
Canadians
of in this
are kind of
together.
cool.
You know what I mean? Like, we're all in this together.
It's tribalism.
Yeah, I mean...
That's the whole thing with,
you
like...
gotta pump the brakes.
I love the Cleveland Browns. Fuck you, Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Like, why? That doesn't make sense.
One part of sports I never understood.
The Homer epidemic. It's wherever you're born, that's who you support, just by default.
I never understood
I don't.
it.
I'm a Detroit Lions fan. I don't know why. But
where did Detroit Lions go?
Because I loved Barry Sanders when I was a kid. I played on the Lions.
See, there's a reason behind it.
Right, I always stuck with Barry Sanders, so...
But I never understood the whole tribalism, like...
It makes maybe some evolutionary sense. Like,
evolutionary, it makes sense,
if I'm
but...
going to fight people over some territory, I probably should join my own people.
So
they kind of
But we have seen past this, like... Yeah, I graduated from OSU, but I really don't care who wins OSU versus Michigan. Whatever.
But that's not exactly as pressing as survival.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when shit goes down and, like, there's not enough to eat, there's 2 tribes, each 100 people each. You belong to one tribe, and there's not enough to eat.
That's
Which
true.
one are you going to fight with?
Is that what it comes down to? Like, even in modern day today? Is that why
but I
people
think
stick
that's
together?
where the instinct developed from.
Well,
I think that's what it came
Like,
let's
what
say-
makes people so patriotic today? You know what I mean?
I think
That's it.
Not
I
just
think that's
patriotic.
true.
I think sports team, fanaticism, all that comes from that instinct of
tribal.
So
there's not enough food. Who am I going to fight for it?
No, I think it's true. That's
Well,
what
no.
people
In
do.
that case,
That's kind of my family.
wouldn't you want a bandwagon in that case? I guess that's kind of what they do. Like, wouldn't you want to come to the U.S. if we're the biggest power? I guess that's kind of what
I think
people
that's
do.
kind of
A
you
lot
kind
of
of want to
people
join
do
the
come
people
to
that
the
are gonna
US.
win.
I guess so. So if shit did go down,
And you're kind of in between.
we
Join
are
the winners.
We are the
Join
front
Yeah.
runners. Yeah.
It's a good strategy.
A lot of people do come here.
That is true. But why are so people die hard about their own countries if they're so obviously so far behind?
I think
Yeah,
the U.S.
Germany.
is one of the more patriotic kind of states, though.
Oh, no.
I
Have
mean,
you
there
seen,
are-
like, Germans?
Yeah,
French?
Germans are.
The French are
I'm sure
really
they are.
patriotic. Germans are really patriotic.
I don't think
Not as
French are patriotic.
Really?
I think they're culturally condescending,
Oh,
but not
no.
necessarily about their
They're very
country.
patriotic.
I
Absolutely.
know. I haven't traveled enough to
Viva la
say it, but
France.
I don't see like Chinese people running around with Chinese flags and shooting
Oh no,
guns.
that's
and
one
like,
thing.
I love
Chloe's
China.
grandma,
you know?
like when she came here and she saw
Yeah.
the American flags. Like, are all these buildings owned by the U.S. government? Like, no, people just like America.
Yeah,
Some
we just
of them
fuck
do.
up.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't see houses in foreign countries with the flag flying and stuff
No.
like that. People don't respect and have that patriotism of the
Maybe
United
we're
States
the
like they do
assholes.
in other
Are we
countries.
the assholes? Shit.
Are we the baddies? We have skull and crossbones.
We might
Doesn't
be.
that city say we're the baddies?
We might be.
Maybe we're the assholes.
We'll never be as patriotic as we were after 9/11. That's for sure. That was crazy.
All right.
Well, that's a good way to. Yeah, that's a good way to end it. That was a good Fourth of July ending to our
in
podcast.
no way treasonous or any way thinking about it.
Happy Treason Day.
Podcast.
I'm starting a fucking kill you campaign for all other countries.
Happy Independence
I actually,
Day.
I'm starting my own country. Actually, I'm seceding from America.
The independent republic of
The
fuck
Republic-
you, leave me alone.
I want